All right, Scott, good hanging with you. You're fighting Saturday night. BTC, it's btcfightpromo.com. You want to watch it streaming live. You and I were chatting just before we turned the camera on about the experience of fighting, what it's like to be in a fight.
Yep.
And how you experience it now is very, very different than you did in your early days, your amateur fights.
Yeah, I feel like I'm at a point in my career now where I'm able to kind of get the most out of the fights that I can. I'm a lot more calm. I'm a lot more relaxed. I'm able to do some things that I didn't really think were possible a couple years ago. I'm a lot more confident, and I think that's like a pretty big talking point going into my fight against Adam. Is that he's been pro for a while. He doesn't have the same experience that I do. He's been a little bit more inactive, and that's probably like my biggest strength in this fight is that it's not that he's so talented that it's just going to take him 7 years to show his best stuff. I feel like I'm the one who's been active. I'm the one who's been experienced. He seems to be a little bit more fast starter. Might be a little anxiety associated with that, and I think it's going to be my experience that pulls me through in this fight for sure.
So he comes from the East Coast, and when you come from a smaller area, you have less training partners, you have less fights sometimes, and you end up with guys with more heart, and not more, but a lot of heart and a lot of grit and a lot of tenacity and relentless willingness to fight and to die in there. Do you agree that sometimes these smaller areas, there's a particular, what makes these guys really great or successful or a great opponent, a great challenge, is who they are as a human being?
Absolutely, and you'll see it in places where people are kind of sheltered, like the Dagestani fighters right now that are just like killing the game. There's probably something like that associated with that. There's no evidence that would suggest that people from the East Coast aren't anything but hard. You know what I mean? If you take any of your favorite fighters from out there, they have similar attributes. There's no reason to believe that Adam, doesn't carry those as well. I 100% expect him to, and there's definitely something to be said about that.
And guys like that, the risk. It's funny. You're analyzing an opponent and noticing that they start fast. That's where the risk lies often with these guys who fight behind a ton of heart and desire, is in those early minutes, because if they get you hurt, all of a sudden you're compromised neurologically, and then you're not the same fighter.
Absolutely, yeah, no, it's true. I think that I don't know, I think he's dealing with something else here. I think that his ability to kind of dig deep and get what he wants out of that early part of the fight is going to be far more difficult than he thinks.
It can also be dangerous for a guy who is attacking with want.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're using want, and will doesn't overcome skill.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to make this about. I know you expect a lot from yourself. I've been in training rooms with you, and in your last fight you won, but you didn't like what you got out of yourself.
Yeah, that's a really good example. I felt like in that last fight, obviously, I expect to win every single fight, but I did feel like I was the better man in the last fight, and I think I dug a little bit too deep looking for openings that weren't actually there. And I think my team saw it. I think you saw it, and I think that trying to do too much caused me to do too little. So my plan now is just to relax, pick my shots, find my openings, and just let the fight unfold the way it will naturally. And I think I perform better under those terms.
It is a wild one, man. It's a cliche that they say to let it happen, but at its best, whether you are fighting or flipping motorcycles upside down or playing piano, if you get out of your own way as an artist or an athlete, that's when the performance is the best.
No, that's absolutely right.
It's going to be a great fight. I'm excited to see you fight, and if I'm him, and I'm watching this, and I'm thinking about it, I'm watching your last fight, I want to pressure you. I think I want to pressure you, but you welcome that.
Yeah, I welcome that. I don't know, I'm a little bit more of the pressure fighter. I think that if you think you're going to put me up against the cage in a striking scenario, again, good luck. If you want to try to waste energy putting me up against the cage, I'm so confident I'm going to reverse from there. I'm so confident that I'm going to find my way out.
So how would you fight you then?
How would I fight me?
How would you fight you?
I don't know. I tried to hold the center of the cage for as long as I possibly could. I would just stay dialed in for as long as I possibly could. Like when I fought Kyle, he had a pretty good game plan of making me pay for my mistakes, and I think that he did the right things in that fight, but there's a series of fights before there where I was kind of able to do what I want to, and I was able to dictate the pace of the fight. And if I can take that early in the fight and I can hold it on into the later rounds, then I rarely let that control go.
That's a tough way to try to win a fight against you, because you have to put yourself at extreme risk to stand in there long enough with you to try to win that way. So I wish him luck if that's the approach. But I'm excited to call your fight. I'm excited to see him in action as well. And man, have a good one. Enjoy
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you very much.